more to come to our number. It's a blessing. When people join you, it's a blessing. Whether they come from, we receive you the way you come. Yeah, whether you are from any source, we receive you. We have received NUP members, we have received FDC members, we have received DP members, we have received those who have never been in any party.
Yeah, but you've heard from the National Unity Platform supporters ridiculing the whole process, downplaying these
Definitely,
defections.
it's expected. Even if it were me, I would do the same. It's expected. And we say, sorry for you. They have come to us. We feel your pain, but it's okay. You'll be fine.
Where we are now, what's your look of things ahead of nominations tomorrow? Your candidate will be nominated tomorrow, and hopefully Robert Kyagulanyi as well will be nominated. Do you think this is going to set the tone for another showdown?
There is no showdown in this. You see, a showdown would mean that we measure, that Kyagulanyi measures NRM, or NUP is at the same level with NRM. In terms of membership, philosophy, ideology, thinking, expansion, structure of the leadership and organization, they can't match NRM. So there is no showdown in that. You can't ever use that word showdown. And so we are helping them. We are grooming them to understand how political parties are run and how political parties are. You see, one of the things that I can help you in this a little. After the Cold War, political formations changed from the original doctrine of establishment of parties that were looking at factors of production. These are land, labor, capital, and enterprise and knowledge now, to parties that have been formed out of social interest, group interest, gathering, identification, and social identities. It deviated parties from the real issues that affect human beings, humankind. So if a party becomes a club of association, the party gets detached from the reality of the common person that it desires to serve. And so for us as NRM, we have kept the revolutionary doctrine that looks at the mass line, looks at the person and the interest of that particular person alongside the interest of any other person. If I look at you, Simon, I don't look at you as, I don't even know your tribe. I don't even know your religion. I don't even know your level of education. But I know you as Simon, you need education, you need peace, you need water, you need shelter, these are the things that NRM preaches. And so that's what I'm saying. In terms of philosophy and ideology, we are different.
We've been there before. Look,
you've been there before.
Preached this rhetoric earlier.
Christianity started when?
Yeah, but
are
here
we
are.
Talking about Jesus and heaven?
I think
when are you going to heaven?
You're missing the reality.
I am no reality there.
In
I'm
the
telling
2021 election, you were as dismissive as you are now. Look what happened. It's an election that went down in the annals of history as being chaotic, bloody, and very commercialized. Are we likely to have a repeat?
You see, every election is different from the other. And every campaign is different. Every time we go for election, there are new normals that comes with a particular election. And so those are issues you keep adjusting to in terms of a campaign period. For example, we are in a different season. 5 years down the road, definitely the economy of Uganda has grown, the population settlement has changed, the urbanization level has increased, the industrialization has improved, the quality of life has improved. All these variables have improved. And it relates to the election. You look at the urban population appreciating a party in government compared to the rural population appreciating a party in government. They have different, because life in town is based on how much you earn per day and how much you spend per day. Okay. Whereas in the villages, you might not need to use money daily. So that is the difference.
What unique inroads have you put in place, for instance, to recapture the places where you performed dismally as NRM?
One, for example, in urban areas like central Buganda, where you claim we perform poorly, it was not because that...
Okay.
It was not because those members do not support NRM ideologically. It is because of internal challenges that we got, that in the time we went for elections, you find in one constituency we had more than 3 candidates, and we shared our votes among those 3 candidates, and you find the opposition having a solid candidate and they win. And that happens in most of these constituencies that you claim we lost. 2, definitely there are some other social pressures around these center points that we have been talking about. in terms of service delivery, in terms of housing, in terms of drainage. So all those put together make somebody feels government should have done this better. Why is it not doing that? So these are the two areas we are focusing at. That yes, we know the central districts of Uganda requires more funding than the funds we have been allocating to them. We know because of the population pressures they have, Kampala, Wakiso, Mukono, even now Luero, PG, these are centers that is becoming a conurbation, that you find Kampala expanding into Mukono, Kampala expanding into Wakiso, Wakiso is moving further. So we need, planning should come with that, and more resources should come with that, roads should be open, property rights should be, so a lot of things come with such. And when that is not handled, it turns political and it affects a party that is in government. And therefore we have taken care of that. And when we are launching our manifesto, we shall be speaking about some of these issues, how we are going to do things better. Two, internally in the organization, we are saying we have gone through primaries, we have competed with one another. A winner was declared, results were announced, there were complaints. The party set up a tribunal that should hear these complaints. There were tribunal hearings. Members who failed aggrieved went before the tribunal, and the tribunal gave its verdict. In some areas, they even canceled elections. They announced other candidates. In other areas, they asked for repeat of election in particular villages, because every village was a polling station in NRM. And so,
yeah, but
after
the
the work of the
flashpoints
tribunal,
remain. I'll give you an example of Sembabule, Ruemiaga particularly, where Sechikubo is coming as an independent. I'll give you another example of Buyaga West, where Tinka Simire is also coming off as an independent. Are you mindful of these flashpoints?
The issue is a little deeper than what you are describing. When we change our constitution from a movement system to a multi-party political dispensation, many individuals carried the movement principle of individual merit into a multi-party political setup. That I am in a political party, but I need to create my own structure for survival in a political party. And if I lose, I have to fight the person who has won. And then that is not the party spirit. So, and that tells you about the effect of multipartyism, that it is still young, it is still new. We need to help Ugandans grow to appreciate pluralism, to appreciate multipartyism, because it is not about you, it is about the party. That flag of the party is what we support, not you as an individual, because you are just a flag bearer. You are holding the flag for the party, and the party has given its flag to X. If that X is weak, because yes, in a campaign there is the candidate, there is the message, and then the means of campaigns. So if the candidate is weak, the message is strong, the structure of campaign is strong, the weak candidate will go through. It is the party that should support that weak candidate to go through. But not you to say, no, I am better than him. It is not about him now, it is about the party. And so we are helping them understand that it is not about personal interests. It is not about individual interests. It is about the party. And therefore, there is a committee that is being chaired by the vice chair and the national first vice chairperson, Alhaji Moses Chigongo, that is trying to mediate, to talk to these people, to understand that the party is bigger than individuals.
There's been a lot of debate about the state of your candidate. He comes off now old, pretty old, older than he's been before. You think he's in the right shape to run all this campaign?
Let me tell you something. Between you and me, I would even confirm that His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni might be stronger than you, Simon, or me, Todwong, in terms of mental ability, physics, and alertness. You see, that is again something that makes us, we amended the Constitution to allow a person of 18 years old to nominate and contest for presidential seat. Actually, there is a candidate who is 18 years who has picked nomination forms. I don't know whether he has taken the forms back. Now, we have not put the last age at which someone should offer himself to contest or vote. If I am a voter, by law, I am allowed to qualify to contest, to be voted for. Why should I be a voter and I'm not allowed to contest when my vote is needed and my presence is not needed? That is double standard. And so the law is very clear. Anybody who is a voter must qualify to be a candidate. Now, under a multi-party dispensation, hold on, it is party competition. If within NRM, which is rightfully so, we are comfortable with the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and you, Simon, in DP, you're comfortable with the Mao, bring Mao and Museveni to compete. Let Ugandans decide. It is the Ugandans to say, no, we are not voting for President Museveni because of reason X. We are not voting for Mao because of reason X. It is not we to decide. Let Ugandans decide. And indeed, it has been decided time and again that Ugandans have put their trust in the hands of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Well,
because
that's a controversy that's never been resolved.
Because of how he handles
each time there is an
duties.
election dispute, there are questions that remain hanging. But moving on from that, there is every...
Questions will always be there. Elections generate questions. And every election there must be questions.
And the big question is credibility. Credibility of an election.
Even credibility of the voters. How credible are the voters? How credible are the issues we are voting for? So credibility is, it exudes, it expands to a bigger, wider area. How credible, you can say, someone can say, how credible is the process of election? How credible is the counting? How credible is the declaration of results? How credible? Okay. In spite of all this, let us agree to the bare minimum to move forward.
Well, in the run-up to the presidential election and presidential general election, there are complaints that the same factors, the red flags that have always marred elections, are popping. The issue of money. NRM is now leading the pack in splashing money all over the place. Yesterday, you gave billions to border cyclists.
I'm sorry for laughing like that because it's very interesting. Money is there. Money is needed for elections. You need money for the...
You're commercializing elections.
We are not commercializing elections. We need money to print posters, to put fuel in the campaign cars, to move around, to make sure that your agents are catered for, your posters are in every
you're giving
villages.
border cyclists.
There is a basic amount of money that is needed. Now, that was not for politics. That was like capital seed to help them generate. If you speak, you see, that's why many of these people go wrong. If you speak to these border riders, they are like,